Hello and welcome to Module 1 of High Performance PHP. In this module we are going to talk about optimizing PHP code. This includes the PHP runtime, micro-optimizations at the PHP level, and other language-specific optimizations. Throughout this course we are going to cover a number of topics. As I mentioned, throughout this module we are going to talk about optimizing PHP itself. Then we are going to talk about choosing and configuring a web server, Nginx in this case. Database optimization will be our third module, followed by performance and load testing. Finally, we are going to discuss frameworks and performance. Here we are going to investigate the trade-offs inherent in picking a framework, and why you might select one even with the knowledge that performance may suffer. I also want to go over what we're not going to cover in this course. We are not going to talk about Linux server configuration. We are also not going to talk about front-end performance. This is a whole course on its own, and there's a great Pluralsight course about this by Kyle Simpson, but it's not within the scope of this course. We're not going to cover hardware. I'm not going to give you specific hardware recommendations, although I will talk about how CPU, memory, and disk can impact the performance of your application. I'm not going to tell you to buy specific servers or specific hardware components. And finally, we are not going to discuss queuing. Queuing is a great way to speed up your application by shuttling expensive work off to another service so the main thread can continue, but it is also beyond the scope of this course. Throughout the course, we are going to be building and using a standard 3-tier application, with a web server running PHP and Nginx, a caching layer running Redis, and a database running MySQL. We're going to build this application up, I'm going to show you how to configure it, and I'm going to show you how to make it fast. We are going to be using the PHP framework Laravel throughout this process. Laravel is one of the newest and most popular PHP frameworks, and it's a great way to get started with an application without too much work. We'll talk about how the choice of this framework is going to impact the performance of our application. The demo application for this course is going to be an online food store. This is a Bootstrap template that I purchased, and we're going to go through the site and show you how a typical e-commerce application can work and what kinds of performance considerations come into play when you have products, a shopping cart, and generally a standard e-commerce site. Let's dive right in.